In this video, I'm going to talk about what to expect during your call center training. So if you are a newbie or you're just new in the call center industry, you might not know exactly what to expect yet. So I'm going to tell you just that. Welcome back to my channel. I'm Rhea once again, and you're still watching Call Center Ninja, sharing with you real stories and tips to enjoy and survive your call center lifestyle. So if you're new here, please consider subscribing by clicking the red subscribe button on YouTube. Now, on to the tips. If you're new to the call center world, you might be asking, what should I expect from my call center training? Don't be scared, because this is actually just like going back to school or high school or college. The only difference is that it is going to be a pretty interactive discussion. As much as my experience has taught me, it might be different for other companies, but that's what I have experienced so far. And it's also different from college and in high school in a way that you're not going to be spoon-fed, and you have to be really responsible for your own learning. But that's going to be a video for the next week. And for now, I'm just going to tell you what to expect. I'm going to look at my notes over here. The first one, if you have already started your training, it's either on the first day or it might come in a little bit late, but should be the first day, is your NHO, or your new hire orientation. As the name itself suggests, it's an orientation for new applicants or new employees. So basically what you're going to do here is to discuss company policies, regulations and rules, maybe payroll system, compensation and benefits, and any other things that you need to know about the company or that the company wants you to know about them. But there's nothing to worry about in this stage, because it's really just an orientation, or first to know information about the company. It can last from 1 day to 2 days, and some other companies have 1 week new hire orientation. And then the next one or the second one is your communications training. So for each company, it has different names. It can be communications training, foundation training, voice and accent or VNA training, soft skills training. But basically, this training may last from 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Maybe some other companies have 4 weeks training. So what you can expect is that you will review the basics of, let's say, grammar, pronunciation, English communication skills. And you also have American culture, time zones, or whoever your client is. So if it's a British account, then British culture, or whatever type of culture that is that you need to know about the client or the account. Aside from that, you will probably also practice your opening or your closing spiel, some sample verbiages or scripting if you have any in your company or in your account. What else? You should expect to also be you will have an examination, communications examination, perhaps every week, every other week, or at the end of your communications training. And this is just to evaluate your if you're an effective communication, if your communication is effective enough, or if it fits what the client wants or needs. But personally, I think this should have been tested or examined when you applied. But some other companies, they might find out that you won't be fit for the account. So sometimes they will endorse you to a different program or to a different account. So it really depends. But that's what you can expect from the communications training. For some companies, they will have like an examination. For some, there's none. So It's like when you're done with your communications training, you will be endorsed right away to client specific training. For some, they have like a it's like a make or break point for their applicants or for the employees. So it's possible that you will not be endorsed to the next phase of training. It's possible that you will be. So it depends. The third part is the PST or CST, which we call the product specific training or client specific training. So in this stage, you will be taught the most important parts of your role as probably a customer service specialist or sales specialist or whatever your role is. So they call it product specifics or client specifics. You will learn about the products and services, the different processes that you need to know, everything. And this is where the training becomes a little longer because you really have to discuss what you need to discuss. And within this training, expect that there will be interactive discussion, written examinations or online examinations, knowledge tests. There are also mock calls to test your call handling skills, or phone simulations where you will practice talking to maybe a trainer or someone to simulate a typical type of call in your industry. And yes, this is where you will really be tested. And if you pass this training, then you will be endorsed to the next phase, which is, in most companies, it's what they call nesting or the transition phase. This is where you start taking calls. Some companies also let their agents start taking calls while on training. Some do not. But in most cases, they take calls, they start taking calls during nesting or transition. And when they do, this is when you're also being evaluated. Like your QA analyst or quality analyst will listen to your calls and evaluate you, and they will see if your call handling skills will pass their criteria. So don't worry, because your QA criteria is supposed to be explained to you, so you will know exactly what to hit, like customer satisfaction rating, quality, what else? Call resolution, or if you have sales conversion rating, then it will also be tested. Aside from that, you will also probably have meetings in between, so off the phone trainings to discuss what your calls were. You will probably have SMEs or peer coaches, subject matter experts with you who will assist you while you are taking calls. And most likely you will have more off the phone times just to discuss whatever your calls are. What else? Yeah, so aside from those, once you have passed transition or nesting and you have proven that you have good performance, not just in taking calls but also your attendance, then you will likely be endorsed to the production floor. That means that you will be legit taking calls, perhaps with no off the phone times, less to no off the phone times, perhaps with less support than with your transition or nesting. But what I'm trying to say is that you will have one supervisor, you'll probably have one SME or peer coach with you, but most likely you will be on your own most of the time. What else? So aside from those stages of your training, also expect that during your training you will feel sleepy because you're still adjusting, especially if you're a newbie or it's just your first time to work at night. It's very possible that you'll feel sleepy. I'll probably make a video about that, like what you can do to avoid sleepiness in the classroom, or how to overcome that part, how to adjust to that kind of lifestyle. What else? You will also expect sometimes, I hope it doesn't happen to you, your pay will sometimes be delayed based on experience, because I know that it's not a good thing, but sometimes it can happen. Like Your pay will be delayed because it could be because they haven't processed your bank forms yet, your checks yet. So it can be quite challenging. So you have to prepare yourself for that. But it shouldn't continue until you're already taking calls. It can happen like once or twice, but it shouldn't be happening because you're supposed to be paid on time. So that's it. So I'm just saying that because it might happen. And you might want to save a little extra just in case your pay gets delayed, which is not really a good thing, but at least you were able to save extra. What else? Not everything will be discussed. So expect that you will not be spoon-fed. And if you discuss everything about client specifics or product specifics, it will take you about 1 year or so. So you only have limited amount of or limited number of days for training, probably 1 week, probably 4 weeks, 1 month, 2 months. But the rest of your learning will actually be the rest of the things that you will learn once you're already there taking calls, once you're already in the battlefield. And that's the best way to learn because it's the real thing. That list is not all inclusive. You might be expecting some other things that I haven't mentioned because, well, again, as I said, it's all different from one company to another, but that's pretty much the basics. And on my next video, I am going to discuss how to pass your call center training. So if you're interested, then please tune in on my next video next Friday. And that's about it for today. Thank you so much for watching and for listening. I hope you've learned something from this video. If you haven't yet, please go ahead and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Just click the red subscribe button on YouTube down below. Or if you're watching this on Facebook, I will also link my YouTube channel as well. If you have any comments or topic suggestions, then please don't hesitate to comment them down and I will definitely consider those. Thank you so much again and see you